Week 5 and 6. Syntax. What is syntax? The rules that govern the combinations of words. Rules for formation of phrases, clauses, and sentences. In technology, the order of symbols, codes, and numbers will determine the commands and instructions received. Heard and spoken syntax. Native speakers acquire syntax by exposure. Word order unconsciously learned by infants. Why this? With this, some ideas sound wrong. The ball hit the children. Generally, there is no consciousness of syntax rules on natives. Parts of a sentence: subject, predicate, object, clauses, phrases. Part of a sentence: subject, person or thing that performs an action. It is mandatory in English, optional in Spanish. The subject comes first. Unless it is an agent in passive voice. It can be a noun phrase or a pronoun. Parts of a sentence: predicate, object, includes the verb, mandatory, describes the action being performed, follows the subject. It can include other structures. Types of sentences, functions. Declarative, mentions ideas, statements, facts, etc. End with a full stop, point, dot. They love studying syntax. Interrogative, they are used to ask questions and interrogate. WH questions and yes/no questions. Do you have any questions? Exclamatory, they express strong emotions, happiness, anger, grief, etc. They end with exclamation marks. I am finally understanding all this. Types of sentences, functions. Negative, they are used to negative information. Not is needed. They are not looking confused. Imperative, they are used to give a command, order, or instruction. They do not include the subject. It is implied you. Ends with a full stop. If a strong emotion is involved, it can include an exclamation mark. Bring your notes for the next class. Clauses. Independent. This is the main clause of a sentence. It states a full thought and can be understood as one complete thought. A simple sentence is just one independent clause. The dog ran across the street. Subordinate, aka dependent clause. It does not state a complete thought. If it is written alone, it is called fragment. It starts with a subordinating conjunction, followed by the subject and a verb. His family conformed him because he wept. Clauses. Adjective, It starts with a relative pronoun, who, whom, whose, which, that, or a relative adverb, when, where, why. It functions as an adjective which modifies the subject or another noun or pronoun in the sentence. The teacher who taught this course last year was very funny. Adverbial. It modifies the predicate or another adverb of the sentence. Often starts with subordinating conjunctions because, unless, when, although, if. In order to recognize them, they answer questions such as how, when, where, why, to what extent, etc., just like adverbs. When Jonathan left the house, he forgot his keys. Clauses. Noun. It is a group of words, subject plus verb, that functions as one noun. You can check if you can replace the clause by a pronoun or a single noun. Rafiki encouraged Simba to remember who he was. Relative. It starts with the relative pronoun, that, who, which. It is kind of an adjective clause, provides more information. Defining. It cannot be removed, no commas needed. Non-defining. It can be removed, placed between commas. Tom, who is Australian, enjoys cooking pizza. Clauses. Conditional. They show that something is possible if, unless, they cannot be alone in the sentence. Dependent. If it rains, I will show you my new brolly. Infinitive. Starts with an infinitive verb with to. It can act as a subject. To bake a cake, we need to use the oven. Appositive. It renames or provides more information about the subject, similar as relative clauses but without the relative pronoun. Mauricio, the new teacher, broke the laptop. Types of sentences. Structure. Simple. It contains a subject that describes a person or a thing performing an action. Also contain a predicate object. It is an independent clause, makes complete sense by itself. Susan is reading a new book. Compound. They are made up with two or more independent clauses, joined by a coordinating conjunction, but, yet, nor, or, and, for, etc. They can also be joined by adverbs, therefore, likewise, rather, etc. Anna was writing her essay, but she forgot to save the document. Types of sentences. Structure. Complex. They are made up by one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. They can be joined by subordinating conjunctions, when, after, because, etc., or relative pronouns, who, which, that, etc. The teacher asked a question to the students before continuing with the topic. Complex compound. It contains one or more dependent clauses, at least two independent clauses, joined with a comma before the coordinating conjunction. After he bought a new car, the boy, who is tall and young, went on a drive but forgot his driver's license. Types of phrases. Noun phrase. A phrase that acts as a noun. Includes a noun and determiners. One of our relatives has won the lottery. Prepositional phrase. Constructed with a preposition and an object. It may also contain other modifiers. The kids were laughing at the Joker. Adjective phrase. A phrase that acts as an adjective. It includes adjectives, modifiers, and other words. She bought a beautiful red car. Types of phrases. Adverb phrase. A phrase that acts as an adverb by giving more information about a verb. It includes adverb and other words. She was running very fast. Verb phrase. It is a group of words that include the main verb and auxiliaries. Describes the action being performed. We are studying syntax. Types of phrases. Infinitive phrase. It contains a verb in infinitive, to plus verb. Includes modifiers and other related words. It can act as a noun, adjective, or adverb. I like to drive a car. Gerund phrase. It is a group of words that includes a verb in gerund. It functions as a noun in the sentence. We started writing the report. Types of phrases. Participle phrase. It is a group of words that includes a present participle, verb plus ing, or a past participle, participle verb. It acts as an adjective. It is punctuated by a comma or between commas. The students raising their hands are able to ask questions. The chair made of plastic looks very resistant. Absolute phrase. It consists of a noun or a pronoun, a participle, and modifiers. It adds more information to the sentence. She, having read all the books, was ready for the exam. Clause or phrase. A clause contains a subject and a verb. Phrases do not. In class, quiz 2. Use the rest of the class for completing it.